Read in Court Timothy Otieno, also to ensure that we are up to date with what is making the headlines at the Anti-Corruption Court located at the Milimani Law Courts. Now to Mombasa now, where the 79th annual Skal Congress kicked off in Mombasa County, with Kenya playing host for the first time. Now the 4-day Congress has drawn in hundreds of delegates from Skal Club across the globe and will be centered around the tourism investment opportunities in not just Mombasa but Kenya as a whole. Francis Mtalaki is there for us. If you can hear me, good morning. It is the second day of the Skal Congress that kicked off on Thursday. Kindly bring us up to date with what we expect to happen today. Of course, we know it is more about tourism, but what is the focus of this Congress?
Well, a very good morning, Brenda. And with regard to the 79th Skal Congress that is happening here in Mombasa, this is one of the Congress or conferences that are critical to the tourism sector, looking back where we came from the challenges that have been there. And now Mombasa being one of the tourist destinations that has been chosen by the stakeholders, many of the issues revolving around the tourism sector are being discussed here. But more importantly, how can Kenya benefit through this conference? The importance of the major stakeholders coming here is a sign that Kenya the tourism sector is gaining back, or is coming back in terms of the numbers that we used to witness in 2010. But I want to bring in my guest, who is Mr. Victor Shitaka, one of the tourism stakeholders down here in the coast and in the country, so that we can digest this thing. In terms of this Congress here, how is it important that Kenya can tap in to the opportunities?
This is fantastic because we've got 500 delegates who are decision makers from the different countries. Now, they have loved what we have to offer. After this, some people are going to Masai Mara and Amboseli. We've got people who own ships here, cruise ships. So the cruise ships have already said that, look, we're going to get 2 of our ships. There's a lady from Croatia who owns 7 ships. She said 2 of our ships are she's going to turn them to land here in Mombasa. Then we've got all these other decision makers who have decided that Mombasa is going to be one of their destinations. Now they're going for safari as well. So it's fantastic for Kenya. I am seeing just growth out of this.
Also looking at what the tourism sector has been experiencing, and now you're saying that there are more deals that are coming in. I understand that they also yesterday say that there will be more direct flights, and specifically the charter planes landing here in Mombasa. What does it mean for the tourism industry?
You know, we are looking back at what we used to be. You see, we're talking about a 17% growth in the coming year. That is a minimum. We are going to achieve that. The charters are coming back. Confidence in this country is coming back. The Skal people are going to go away and come and inform their countries and sell this Kenya as a destination. So there's only one way up. This has been fantastic for tourism.
There's also been a challenge in terms of matching the conferences that have been happening here, but recently we would appreciate that a number of conferences have been coming down here in Mombasa. So many of the tourism stakeholders have been sailing the sandy beaches. Looking forward, what should we expect from the tourism sector?
One, Kenya is going for the mice market. Now, in this belt where we are in Pride in Paradise, and in this belt up to Flamingo, we've got hotels and we've got conference facilities that are coming up. So not only will we be going for beach and safari, and you'll remember here we've got different counties also displaying their wares and their goods and showing what else Kenya can offer. So one, MICE is going to improve. In this belt is going to be the belt for meetings, conferences, and each of the counties that are displaying their wares here are also going to benefit, because now tourists are going to go into Kenya, into the whole of Kenya. We are not only going to be now a beach and safari unit. There's going to be a lot more to be offered.
Any deals that we should expect in terms of, as an association, maybe cutting deals for the tourism sector?
I think this will trickle down up to the domestic sector, where deals are going to be offered throughout the year, so that there is accommodation and hospitality for every sector, from those who can afford the high end to the people who have a smaller budget. But this is going to improve the whole country and our own domestic team here.
What do you want to see from the government side, given that the tourism sector has been facing a number of challenges, but now there's some resilience?
As the president of Skal Coast, I know that the government, national government through our minister, Najib Balala, we have been getting a lot of support. Security has improved. Our county government here has improved. Look at the infrastructure. Look at the buildings that are going up. The roads are being done. So we have gotten the support that we want. We just want to ask them to keep going on.
Thank you so much, Bwana Victor Shiteka, for your time. Well, that is one of the tourism stakeholders that has been speaking to us, and he says that there is more to come in terms of the tourism sector, and looking back to where the tourism sector has come from since 2010, a number of challenges. But also the hotels here are booked, and looking at some of the numbers, given that we are into the peak season, maybe I could have one of the managing director for the Pride in Paradise. Maybe you can also talk to us in terms of the numbers and tourism sector. We're into the peak season and we are seeing more conferences coming here. What should we expect?
Okay, so my name is Hasnain Nurani and I'm the Group Managing Director for the Pride in Paradise Beach Resort. We have all known that Mombasa has had their seasons, the high seasons and the low seasons, and but currently things are changing, because Mombasa is now being positioned as a meetings destination. So combining meetings and leisure. Like right now we are holding the Skal World Congress, the 79th Skal World Congress. And so ideally, if we look at generally in terms of October, November generally dips down. But with the kind of meetings that are now being hosted in Mombasa, that is changing the whole atmosphere and the ambience in Mombasa. And sooner or later, we shall see that Mombasa will no longer have seasons. It will be it'll be busy throughout. And this is what we've observed this year.
Lastly and briefly, maybe for this conference and as a tourism stakeholder, what should Kenya expect in moving forward and the numbers?
I think in terms of tourism, currently I know that as Magical Kenya and as the tourism stakeholders, we are looking at targeting and marketing on the different niches of tourism. Like we have the medical tourism, we have the business tourism, we have the leisure tourism, we have the charter tourism, we have the sports tourism. So if all these individual tourism sectors are marketed too well, you shall see a huge amount of growth. It's also known as educational tourism. So with all these different, and if you look at Kenya in general and Mombasa also, it's all divided. Like we can see that Mombasa can be positioned as a business tourism location, whilst Diani, Watamu, Malindi could be as leisure tourism. If you go to Eldoret, that could be education tourism. Nairobi could be positioned as a hub for medical tourism. So there's all these various tourism factors that we could consider and start growing the tourism numbers.
Thank you so much. Well, so much to talk to in terms of tourism sector and a number of issues that are going to be discussed here. Kenya is looking forward into tapping into more deals, and specifically for what is happening here with regard to the Skal Congress. This is the 79th edition. The next edition will be held in Croatia.
Thank you so much, Francis Mtalaki, for that detailed report concerning the Skal Congress.